Greetings, pilots, and welcome to episode 93 of TPC Hangar, the weekly video podcast where we take a look at the news and upcoming flights for the club. My name is Jacob, producer and host for the Pilot Club. This week, we're taking a look at news and flights for the week of March 11th through March 17th. So let's get started. This week's highlighted partner is Bravo 737. Bravo 737 is a flight simulation community that was created with the goal of enabling its members to aviate, navigate, and simulate to the best of their ability. They host events and contests, produce streaming and content, and offer historic and custom liveries for the various variants of the Boeing 737 found in both Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and X-Plane. Bravo 737 is a wonderful part of the larger flight sim community, so be sure to check them out. This week saw the launch of a new set of long-haul missions for the month of March. Pilots can receive 1,000 TPC points for each flight they complete during the month of January. All they have to do is plan and execute their flight following one of the routes provided, then leave a comment on the blog post sharing the details of their flight, and post a few screenshots in the Screenshots or Long Haul channel of the Discord. Our domestic flight this month takes us 2,284 nautical miles north from Tampa, Florida to Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Our Western Hemisphere flight travels 2,562 nautical miles north from Panama City, Panama to Montreal, Canada. Our Eastern Hemisphere flight takes us 1,841 nautical miles south from Tromsø, Norway to Bergamo, Italy. Our short around the world flight travels 2,221 nautical miles east from Ankara, Turkey to Almaty, Kazakhstan. And finally, our long around the world flight spans 5,639 nautical miles south from Tokyo, Japan to Auckland, New Zealand. Please remember that the use of time dilation is not allowed during these flights. This week also saw the launch of Part 3 for our Members Home Airport Showcase Explorer flights. Pilots can receive 500 TPC points for each airport listed during the month of March. All they have to do is plan and fly into or out of one of the featured airports during the month. Leave a comment on the blog post including the ICAO code and any additional flight details you'd like to share. Then post a few screenshots from your flight in the Screenshots channel of our Discord. Let's take a closer look at this month's airports. First up is Danbury Municipal Airport in Danbury, Connecticut, home of Daniel, Pilot Club 1291. In 1928, a group of local pilots purchased a 60-acre plot of land known as Tucker's Field, and 2 years later leased that land to the town to become Danbury Municipal. Today, Danbury Municipal covers 248 acres and sees an average of 147 general aviation aircraft operations every day. The airport also offers instrument approaches and serves as a home for the 399th Composite Squadron of the Connecticut Wing Civil Air Patrol. KDXR is a Class Delta airport that features 2 runways, with the longest being 4,421 feet. Next up is Melbourne Orlando International Airport in Melbourne, Florida, home to Ron, Pilot Club 142. The first aircraft began using what would eventually become Melbourne International as a fueling stop in 1928, while it was still little more than a cow pasture. A few years later, in 1933, the city of Melbourne acquired the land and developed it into Naval Air Station Melbourne during World War II. Following the war, the airport was deeded back to the city in 1947, where it served as a municipal airport until 1967, when the name was changed to recognize its role as a hub for regional airliners. It was then later renamed once more in 2015 and given its current name, Melbourne Orlando International. KMLB is a Class Delta airport featuring 3 runways, with the longest being just over 10,000 feet. Now we head to the other side of the world as we visit Kuala Lumpur International Airport in the Sepang district of Selangor, Malaysia, home of YZhongJ, Pilot Club 174. By far the youngest airport on our list this month, construction broke ground on Kuala Lumpur Airport in 1993 when it was decided the existing international airport could not keep up with the rising demand of international air traffic in the area. First opening in 1998, Kuala Lumpur International sits on a site of more than 100 square kilometers, making it one of the world's largest airport sites. It is also the busiest airport in Malaysia, handling more than 13 million passengers and over 500,000 metric tons of cargo in 2020 alone. WMKK is a Class Bravo airport featuring 3 parallel runways, with the longest being just over 4,100 meters, or 13,500 feet. We come back to the Western Hemisphere again with Viracopos Campinas International Airport in Sao Paulo, Brazil, home of Kelvin, Pilot Club 1992. First built as a simple airstrip during the Revolution of 1932, the first runway was paved in 1946. Additional improvements were made over the following years as their airport began to take shape. What started off as a simple airstrip now serves as an alternate for Rio de Janeiro's Galeão International and Sao Paulo International, as well as the second busiest cargo airport in Brazil today. SBKP is a Class Bravo airport that features one runway that stretches 3,240 meters or 10,630 feet. Finally, we come back to the United States as we finish up with Atlantic City International Airport in Atlantic City, New Jersey, home of Caden, Pilot Club 24. Starting off as Naval Air Station Atlantic City in 1942, the airport served as a training center for various carrier-based fighter, bomber, and torpedo squadrons. Today, Atlantic City International serves as a home to the 177th Fighter Wing of the New Jersey Air National Guard, as well as an air station for the United States Coast Guard. Additionally, Spirit Airlines, Sun Country, and Caesars Entertainment fly in and out of Atlantic City year-round. KACY is a Class Charlie airport featuring 2 perpendicular runways, with the longest being 10,000 feet. Our first flight for the week is GA Tuesday, hosted by Mark, Pilot Club 444. This week, we're gearing up for a crossfire flight across Tahoe National Forest in California. Pilots will take off from their choice of Redding Regional or Reno Tahoe International. In either case, they'll make their way to Chico Regional Airport, stopping for a brief touch and go before continuing on to their destination. Mark has prepared a detailed flight briefing for us, which contains the detailed route, weather information, useful add-ons for your sim of choice, and more, so be sure to check it out. Next up is TPC and Sky Blue Radio's Fly In Thursday, hosted by Dylan, Pilot Club 1496. This week, we join our partners at the New York ARTEC as we fly into Buffalo Niagara International in Buffalo, New York. KBUF is a Class Charlie airport located just a few miles southeast of Niagara Falls. It features 2 perpendicular runways, with the longest being just over 8,800 feet. Departure airport and flight planning are at the pilot's discretion, and as always, we welcome all traffic from single-engine piston all the way up to bizjets and airliners. Once you safely reach cruise, don't forget to tune in to Sky Blue Radio, either through their website or through the link on our event page. Sky Blue Radio, sounding great at any altitude. It's Friday Night Ops, hosted by Stuart, Pilot Club 73. This week, we'll be joining the Atlanta, Miami, and Jacksonville ARTECs for their Spring Break Madness FNO. Controllers will be staffing up 6 separate international airports during the event: Hartsfield-Jackson in Atlanta, Charlotte-Douglas, Orlando, Jacksonville, Miami, and Fort Lauderdale-Hollywood. Stuart has prepared 3 suggested routes for us to choose from: Atlanta to Orlando, Fort Lauderdale to Jacksonville, or Miami to Charlotte. Be sure to check out the detailed routes on the event page for more information, but do remember that departure and arrival procedures are subject to ATC approval. Of course, we saved the best for last with Sunday Funday, hosted by Andrew, Pilot Club 826. This week, Andrew has us flying from Pittsburgh International to Chicago O'Hare International along a route that stretches 381 nautical miles. We're planning on making use of the Watson 4 arrival, so be sure to take a look at that chart. But remember that departure and arrival procedures are always subject to ATC approval. That brings us to the end of episode 93 of TPC Hangar. Be sure to leave us a like and a comment, then subscribe and click the notification bell to be notified of our future episodes. Check out our website at thepilotclub.org and join the conversation on our Discord. We hope everyone has a great week, and we'll see you in the skies.